Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today's actually going to be a little bit different. Um, my name is Jaya, for those who are new. I basically put out videos about books, reading, joy of creating a reading community, essentially every Sunday and Wednesday. And 90% of the time, that's what this channel is about. Today is not one of those videos. For those that have subscribed to this channel, I want to thank you so much for being here. It is truly a joy to create a reading community. Reading is truly my passion. I genuinely love to read. I read 184 books last year. I reread a lot of my books as well. I don't watch that much TV. I relax by reading. It keeps me calm. And so to be able to share that joy of reading with all of you is an amazing opportunity and experience, and I'm just so humbled by those who have actually subscribed and want to see the content that's being put out. Something a little terrifying that I came across on YouTube recently is this concept of overconsumption. And I kind of wanted to address this here. I have a lot of books. I have a lot of books that are special editions. I have a lot of books that mean something to me. I don't have doubles of any book. I don't believe in having more than one copy of book. I'm not against anyone doing that. If you're one of those people who likes to have multiple different editions of a book, whether it's because there's a different special ending at the end of the book, like Sarah J. Maas does with some of her book releases, depending on whether you get it from Target or like Barnes and Nobles or Walmart or whatever, then absolutely no judgment. If you're that person who's like, I'm sorry, there's a little something in the hair and it's bothering me, a little piece of fuzz. Let's get that fuzzy out of there. Come on, little fuzzy. Sorry, my distracted ADD nature coming into play here. If you're that person that likes to have, beautiful different editions from different people, whether it be Etsy or like the UK version versus the US version of things, totally understand. I love coming into a room and seeing a wall of books. That aesthetic has always appealed to me. But I just wanted to be transparent on this channel and say, under no circumstance am I telling anybody to please go buy a book. The library is such a wonderful resource. It's such a wonderful resource. It is a great place to have community. It's a great place to experience new authors that you may not want to invest your money into because you're like, this is not something I want to take home. If you're a one-time reader, if you're like, I'm going to read this book one time and I'm never going to open it again, do you need to have it on a bookshelf at home? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you're an e-reader person, you don't like clutter, Kindle, guys, is wonderful. Kindle Unlimited is a subscription that you can do with Amazon, and Amazon originally started off primarily like books, right? So Amazon has a massive library under Kindle Unlimited where you can literally download the book onto your e-reader, up to 20 books at a time, and you can read them in whatever order you want. You can always choose to re-add it and download it to your library if you're unable to get to it at that time. And I believe it's $11 per month. If you're a avid reader, and even if you get through 2 books a month, right, that's still cheaper than going out and buying a book. Kindle also supports apps like Libby. Libby requires you to have a library card so that you can rent audiobooks and ebooks onto your Kindle from your local libraries, and then that way you can consume the book that way. Under no circumstance do you have to go out and buy a book. Overconsumption is a real thing. There's been a lot of influencers and videos that have been coming out with this idea of creating an aesthetic to showcase your wealth or your richness or, in whatever way it may be, a flex, if you will. And I would absolutely hate to be that influence on someone else. I also say that because I have been influenced, right? I remember when I was, in my late teen years, in my 20s, there are a lot of things that people say and do and showcase, and it's very easy to get swept up into this idea of, oh, I want to be like everybody else, so I need this, or this idea that if you don't have certain things in your closet or certain things in your life that you are not good enough, right? And I think that's ridiculous. You are beautiful no matter what stage of your life you're in. You are beautiful and amazing and wonderful, regardless of what your socioeconomic background is. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Ooh, give me a second here. Oh, and my cat wants my attention. Of course she does. I'm getting emotional because I'm in medicine, right? And I come from a very privileged background. I'm so thankful for my parents. I'm so thankful for my family. I'm so thankful for the value systems they have instilled in me. I am so thankful for every single one of my friends and my loved ones, because that's what matters. That's what matters. This movement that's going on, where we are trying to put on a face for society, where we say, oh, look how rich we are, look how much money we have, look at all the luxury goods that I have, look at all the things that I've accumulated. It's insane. It's insane, right? Why is it my right to make anyone else feel less than, or tell them what their definition of success should be based on what I have? And here's another thing. If you're that person that wants to go buy what everyone is telling you to buy, there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that if you're actually going to use it. I would hate for someone to feel peer pressured into buying something that they don't want. And the other reason why I came on here, again, no judgment, right? I really want to make that clear. I don't want to judge anybody. I'm not trying to tell anyone how they should live. I simply want to share a passion for reading with everyone. And I have a question to all of you today, and that's why I'm filming this video. I'm watching a video about overconsumption and watching these videos about people talking about how they feel like they need to get fake designer goods and fake products and all this kind of stuff in order to exemplify that they come from a certain level of wealth or background. If you feel that me talking about books, or me showcasing some of the new books that I've purchased, or me talking about special editions that I've purchased, because that truly brings me joy. I like wasting my money on those things, and I will call it a waste. Do I need all these books? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Does it bring me immense joy to walk into a room and see all the books and know that I can be transported into any world that I want in the drop of a hat? Absolutely. This is my happy place. But this does not have to be everybody's happy place. So if anyone feels like I'm sharing too much, if it feels like I'm influencing in a way where I'm saying, please go buy this item, please let me know. That is not the goal. If the content regarding the books that I'm reading, the stories that I'm appreciating or enjoying, my thoughts on the books, my thoughts on, how I feel like it's a commentary on society or like day-to-day life or character development, if that kind of stuff is interesting, or if it's a influence to be like, hey, I've had this series on my mind for a while, I haven't really thought about whether I want to read it or not. It's always nice to hear other people's takes on it so that I can decide if I want to read this book or not. That's the goal. And if that's what you're getting out of the videos, then I'm going to keep doing this. But I was watching this video again about overconsumption, and I realized, like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person that influences someone to go waste their money when they don't need to. And I will reiterate, so many of these books are available for free from your public library. Book sharing is such a great tool. If you're like, hey, I have this book, 8 of my friends want to read it, let's all share the book. That's such a great way to consume a book. And that book gets used. The trees that have been killed to make the paper for that book are being respected. Like, 100% support that. If you are collecting books and you enjoy them the way I do, because you like the tangible feel of holding a book, the smell of books, the feel of books, the experience that books give you, 100% support that. I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to tell anyone how they should or should not live their life. I'm still figuring out my life. I still get influenced for a bunch of different things. I have a collector's mentality. That is my personality type. I've been like that since I've been 5 years old. Do things have more value to me than people do? Absolutely not. Do things have more meaning to me than experiences do? Absolutely not. Do I cherish every single thing that someone has given me? Absolutely. Do I love every single thing that I have bought? Absolutely. If I don't like it, do I get rid of it? Absolutely. Point in case, there is a book. Helena wrote it, is her first name. Helena Hunting, I believe. Pucked is the name of the book. That book, the copy that I have is beautiful. It's a stunning, stunning copy. And I will talk more about this when I do my reading wrap up for the month as well. But this book had so much sex, spice in the book that I couldn't finish it. I genuinely couldn't. And it's not to say that it's not a good book. If you're looking for like a good hockey romance erotica book, that is your book. If you're like that person that loves 50 Shades of Grey and books like that, like books that have a lot of that spice and you're seeing that action, if that's what you're looking for, this is your book. Unfortunately for me, spice has to have a purpose in a book. Otherwise, I'm going to skip the scene. And if I can't skip the scene and get a storyline out of it, then I'm not going to read the book. And that was Pucked for me. I felt like Pucked, the entire focus was on the physical chemistry between the two characters. There was no real depth to the story. And that was extremely frustrating for me. Point in case, that book is currently sitting on my shelf. Does it need to continue to sit on my shelf if I'm not going to read it? Absolutely not. I will be giving it away. I have friends who are looking for some books like that, so I will be giving that to that said friend. And I, again, have no judgment towards that friend at all, or friends, I should say, at all, because they are wonderful people. And if that's how they pass time, then that's okay. Like, that matters to them. They enjoy that. That's great. Like, happy for them. There are certain books where I am rooting for that slow burn so hard that when that scene finally happens, I'm giddy. I'm happy for them. Like, I'm like, oh my God, yes, this is happening. There are other books where I'm like, I don't feel the chemistry between the two characters. And that was my situation with Pucked. I'm like, I don't appreciate a story here. It hooked me in. It hooked me in because it said that she thought that the guy was like complete caveman, like athletic guy, like classic, douchebag, jock vibes, but he's actually a bookworm and he actually has a heart. And I read that back and I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this book, because I love stories like that when you see something on the outside and you realize there's so much depth to the inside. Because again, that's the beauty of human nature, right? Like we get to feel a certain type of way because you get to see secrets about people that you may not have known otherwise, just basing them off the cover. And so for me, like, I'm not going to be reading that book. I did DNF it this month. I got, I think, literally 2 chapters in, and then I flipped through multiple pages of the book, and almost every other page, there is something related to spice. And I'm like, that's just not what I'm looking for currently, so I will be getting rid of the book. Same thing with fashion and other things. I know I have shown some really beautiful things on this channel that have been gifted to me. I know I show them often because I am truly so thankful and grateful for that experience that I was able to have with my sister-in-law or my friends, whatever it may be, because every time I use that item, it reminds me of that person. It reminds me of that moment in time, and it just makes me giddy. It makes me happy. I grew up in the South. So having grown up in the South, like there was a certain level of expectation with appearance, which again, this is like pre-college, like definitely a very different vibe. Like I thought it was normal for a kid to walk around with a Louis Vuitton bag in high school. Guys, it's not normal. I thought it was normal for a person to get their first car as a Beamer, a Maserati, whatever. My parents did not raise me that way. I will be the first one to say my upbringing was beautiful. I had one of the most amazing childhoods ever. I have a relationship with my parents that I'm so thankful for. Like they are my people. I love my parents. I am that kid who comes from that culture who is going to say when they get old, they will not be going to a nursing home. They will be staying with me and I will take care of them till their dying breath because they are my parents and I love them to death. My siblings feel the same way. So in our household, it's actually a fight as to who gets to take care of our parents when they get older. You know, like, people are everything. People are everything. Experiences are everything. Like, every place that you go, what makes it home is not the location, it's the people. I don't care if you live in New York or California or, you know, Texas or what's like Midwest but top. Geography, not my thing. Michigan, right? I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're overseas. Singapore, India, China, Indonesia, Australia, Hawaii, wherever you're from, right? Like, it's the people. It's the people that makes a place home. Like, yes, weather and stuff like that matters, absolutely, but it's the community you build. It's the peoples that you connect with, that you create a relationship with. That's what matters. That's what matters. Humans matter, right? And if I ever have made any one of you feel like you are not doing enough, you are not achieving enough, you are not enough, then please tell me, because I'm doing something wrong. That is not the goal. I'm in no way, shape, or form telling you to please go buy books. I am in no way, shape, or form telling you that you need to have this in your household. Like, this is my pride and joy. This is my pride and joy. I live for this. I come home and I walk into this room and I get energized by this because I know I can take a book out of this lineup and sit on that chair and read, and I'm going to be transported to a whole new world. I also love reading because even though fiction is fiction, even if it's just a romance, it's a way to understand people better. And that's really what I want this channel to be about. I want this channel to be about community. It's about a bookish community. We are creating a community of love for books. That's the goal. I just want to talk all day about books. It's not about things. It's not about locations, not any of that. Another thing though is like experiences. I love showcasing experiences on here. Like, if I'm like, hey, I had the opportunity to go check out the Nutcracker, let me share that experience with you guys. Or if I'm like, hey, I had a chance to travel to this place, let me share that with you guys. We decided we were going to do a siblings trip to Madison in order to see my other brother and his girlfriend. And I believe I posted footage of that as well because it was just such a fun weekend. It was the first siblings weekend that we had really done with like no parents and just all of us hanging out, with all of us having partners as well. And it was just entertaining. It was entertaining from all angles. It was entertaining when the girls got together and talked about the boys. It was great when the boys got together and talked about the girls. It was great when it was like the Rajagopalans, as in me and my siblings, against the non-Rajagopalans, aka the people like coming into the family, versus like them against us. Like, it was just so much fun. There was so much bonding and enjoyment that happened, and the Epic Campus is so cool. And I know a lot of people are like, why would we ever go to Madison? So I don't blame you. Why would you ever go to Madison? If you don't want to go to Madison, don't go to Madison. But if you want to see that Epic Campus, I got you. There's some pictures there for you to enjoy as well, you know? It's not about bragging. It's about sharing those experiences with you. But with it being the new year and with this kind of, you know, resetting things, right? Some of my goals. I am really excited to read at least 100 books this year. That's my goal. I changed this job as well because it gives me a lot more flexibility in my schedule, which gives me enough time to spend time with family, but also gives me the opportunity to spend a little bit more time pursuing the things that I like to do, whether that be creative interests. Like, I want to get back to dancing. I've trained in Indian classical dance when I was younger, and I would really like to get back to that. Music is something I'm very passionate about, and I'm like slowly trying to gain more skills in the music as well. And I really want to see if I can start getting back into singing. That's something I trained in for years, and it's very important in our culture. It's very special. And I would like to get back to appreciating that. My husband is also a musician, so it's just really fun to be able to, combine his passion and my interests together to kind of see if we can find things to do together. I love the fact that I get to read. I didn't get to read fiction when I was in med school. I didn't have time. I didn't get a chance to really enjoy it as much when I was in residency as I would have liked. And during COVID, my books were my family because I couldn't actually go see my family. And as someone who is very, very family oriented and very, very, very close to my friends, it was very difficult to be away from them. And after all this rambling, I think basically what I'm trying to say is that I love creating this community with each and every one of you. I may not know you. I may not know what circumstances you come from. I may not know your full background. I may not know your whole life story. But I respect and appreciate that spark in you that makes you want to read, because that is what binds us as a community, because I have that same spark too. And any environment where you can safely express a piece of yourself and find an appreciation and reciprocation for that, why would you not want that, right? Like I love to read. I have a lot of family and friends who like to read as well, but not everyone reads to the level I read, or not everyone likes the books that I like to read. And sometimes, watching someone that you really care about, having their eyes kind of glaze over about your passion is, stop trying to destroy the door, is really difficult. This is Taco, by the way. She's being a brat. She is currently trying to scratch the door. We're not going to do that. No, we're not. No, we're not going to break the door. My little goofball. My little powder puff. My little pina colada. My little taquito. Say hello. Say hello to the nice people. Say hello. But, I just like having a platform where I can express my obsession with books and why I'm obsessed with them and what I enjoy and what I don't like and what I love and all this good stuff, because it's a way for me to express something that brings me joy, something that makes me me. And for a lot of my friends that live far away from me but are like a part of my family and a part of my soul, it's a great way for us to feel connected too. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking directly to them, and it's so nice to know that they're like sitting there and watching the videos at whatever pace they can, because A, they want to be supportive, and B, because they share the passion, but that's what I want this channel to be about: positivity, positive vibes. Even books that I don't like, I would never take it upon myself to call an author a bad author. I would never take it upon myself to say that a book is bad. I can definitely say that a book wasn't the right taste for me, but I would never say it's a bad book, because a book that might be bad to me might be a beacon of hope to someone else. And what right do I have to take that away from someone? Also, I've never written a book. The amount of time, energy, creativity, intention that is required in order to release a book is not a joke. So props to every single author out there, because I could never do what you do. So how dare I judge your project? Like, no, I can say it wasn't right for me. I can say certain characters were not right for me, but please know it's not a judgment on you. Because I think the fact that you even created something like that is incredible. So even this Helena Hunting Pucked book, it's not to say that Pucked is a bad book, or that people who read that type of book are bad people or anything like that. There's zero judgment. It's just that it's not the right book for me. And the beauty of the book community is that it's okay to say that. And that's what I want to be on this channel. Anyways, I'm sorry for getting so emotional, and I'm sorry for, this rambling video that has very little to do about actual books. I hope you guys don't mind that I put this out here, but please leave a comment below if anything that I have done on this channel has ever made you feel uncomfortable or made you feel belittled or less than. And I definitely want to address that, and I want to make sure I never do that again. If you ever feel pressured, please let me know. That's never the goal. But if overall you enjoy the content and you've been enjoying creating this bookish community with me, then definitely let me know about that as well, because we will continue doing just that. And I can't wait to see all the wonderful new beginnings and new experiences we get to have this year as we consume even more reading material to tickle our imaginations. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please know this is not the usual video. This is just a random one. But typically I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday about books and all things books, basically. And for those of you who have been here for a while, who have joined me here and are enjoying this journey, please let me know if there's anything you would like to be seeing that's done differently, if anything has made you ever feel uncomfortable, and I will ensure to do my best to try to make sure that doesn't happen again. Until next time, take care, guys. Bye.